As we finish up Nathan confronting David in 2 Samuel chapter 12, we can't help but notice the terseness that the narrative takes in verses 15 and 16. It says, Nathan went to his house, and the Lord afflicted the child. It's matter of fact, almost uncomfortably so, given the nature of what is taking place. After all, what has this child done to receive the destiny that's fallen to him? This all seems wrong. So let's deal with this head on. First, the child was not innocent. No one is born innocent or in a positive state or even in a neutral state with God. The baby carried the stain of sin. The difference between the baby and someone mature is the ability to discern between what is right and wrong and the mental ability to knowingly rebel or be defiant. So absolutely, this is a tragic event from our perspective. Yet we must also keep in tension that God was absolutely just and righteous in His actions. When something takes place in my life that I am not able to untangle, I have to trust that the judge of all the earth will do what is right. And even in this case, God was just in punishing David by pronouncing death to his child. Since David led the enemy nations to mock God, David will be publicly and personally humiliated with discipline because of his sin. Once again, David's guilt of sin is removed, but not all the earthly consequences. So we must take heed that we reap what we sow. And what we are to learn from this here is that oftentimes we don't know the severity of what we will reap. Would David have stopped lust in its tracks if he could have predicted the devastation that would be caused by his sin? Well, I don't know, but what more prediction of devastation do we need than the wages of sin are death? But what we must know is that sin and rebellion against God carries consequences. And more times than not, those consequences are far more weighty than we ever want to admit. We usually calculate the reaping of what we sow based on comparison to others. We say things like, surely it won't bring that much harm. I mean, after all, I'm a pretty good guy. I've done a lot of good things for the kingdom of God, and I've seen other people do this, and the repercussions are not that bad. We think that since the seed of sin is so small, then so too will the fruit of sin be small, and we forget the whole idea of sowing and reaping. And that is, what is put down into the ground may be tiny, but while it's in there, it is nurtured and it is fed until it grows into something we just never imagined. God calculates the reaping according to His purity and righteousness and justice. He has to, or else He would not be righteous Himself. So take heed that when you sin, when I sin, we will bear the scars of sin on this earth. You can be forgiven, but we can't undo all the consequences. As you pray today, please remember Larry and Tammy Wood, our European coordinators. And also remember the Manda Life Word broadcast that's heard throughout Tanzania.